Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. If you're new here, welcome, and consider subscribing to my channel and click that little bell notification below. How many guys did you catch to be looking at you last week? And what did you do as soon as you caught them? Comment and tell us how it went. Anyway, today I'm here to guide you regarding that specific question I asked. How someone looks at you can mean millions of things. So, to act, first you have to decipher the message behind how they're looking at you. Once you know it, then you can act accordingly. So first, we'll see why a guy might look at you. Number 1. He's attracted to you. This is the most obvious reason. He looks at you because he feels the attraction. Usually, if he locks eyes with you and doesn't look away, he's totally into you. Sometimes a guy's fascination with you isn't rooted in anything deep. He just thinks you're hot. He might find you interesting, whether it's the humorous story you're telling, or the fact that you're engaged in an enjoyable pastime. What can draw his attention can be what you're doing or wearing. So if you also find him attractive, then talk to him. If not, step out of his sight, and he'll get the cue. Number 2. He wants to talk to you. Even we keep looking at people whose attention we need so that we can talk to them. The guy who's looking at you can also be doing the same. He's trying to connect with you, and depending on whether you're interested or not, you'll either go on or continue to develop a relationship. If you're curious, let him know by expressing your curiosity by asking him a question about something in particular. This will make the situation a little more comfortable for both of you. If he strikes up a discussion, find a clever way to respond to it. If you have similar interests, you will have no trouble finding things to chat about, which can lead to the start of something new. Number 3. He might find you familiar. Someone staring at you really hard can mean they're trying to figure out why you look so familiar. In life, we come into contact with a lot of individuals, but we also forget most of them. The face is not the only thing we have in our minds about other people. We register their behavior, shape, how they react, and more. So if you stare hard enough, you might remember who they are. So this person being someone you know is quite possible. He's an old neighbor, your ex's buddy, or even an Instagram follower. He may lack the confidence to approach you or not think it's appropriate to do so. Simply say hi. You might be surprised when you talk to him. Number 4. He's insecure about making a move. In all honesty, a guy gazing at you usually does it because he likes you. Also, if you've caught him glancing at you frequently, he might be afraid of being rejected since he's secretly in love with you. Although we think of men as powerful and self-assured, they can occasionally be insecure. He might be staring at you because he's unsure of how to approach you. This is common, as our society has recently conditioned boys to be wary about approaching women. He might worry that something he says or does could be taken out of context and thought to indicate something else. So if the person is frequently staring at you and not making any moves, he might simply be insecure. Go say hi and put him out of his misery. Number 5. He wants to know more about you. Men who stare at you intently from a distance are often interested in learning more about you. Most likely, he's asking a lot of questions with his eyes. He can be attempting to find your relationship status or whether you're single. His male brain is analyzing all the information he sees to make sense of you. If you can read his body language, you might see that his body says more than his stare. If he makes eye contact with you while having a curious expression on his face, he definitely has a lot to ask. Number 6. He's listening to you. If someone attentively listens to you, the chance is high for him to like you as well. You might be talking about someone you hang out with or are dating. Whatever it is, his eye contact will say that he's really interested in what you're saying. First, he'll listen or observe you from afar. Then he'll start talking and might even ask serious questions. So if someone's holding your eye contact for 4 to 5 seconds while you're talking, that means he's really listening. Number 7. He's just being friendly. People frequently attempt to make eye contact with others in the hope that if they do it first, they'll have a higher chance of connecting with them. So any man may give you a friendly look to make eye contact. Most of the time, this is nothing to be panicked about. So try to carry on your normal discussion with the person. He might want something else from you or want you to get to know him better. Also, it's possible that he's just trying to make friends and enjoys the way you speak to him. Sometimes he might be asking for help. If you sense that he's having trouble with something, try to be kind to him and just offer to help. Number 8. He wants you to get curious about him. Some guys know how their gaze affects others, particularly those of the opposite sex. They'll focus on you by staring, and then you will wonder what he's doing. Eventually, you will make the same face as him while trying to decipher what his expression says. Nobody intentionally wants to look like an idiot, so when he keeps looking at you from a distance, he's trying to figure you out. He's probably attempting to establish whether you share his feelings for him or whether you have a similar interest. He might want you to be intrigued by him as he was intrigued by you. Number 9. He's lost in thought. Other than all the logical reasons we talked about, one of the most common things to happen is him being lost in thought. It's possible that he's simply staring blankly, but the way he's staring gives the impression that he's staring at you. In other words, it has no unique significance. He's simply dozing off. He might even be considering his lunch options or his weekend plans. The next time you catch this guy staring at you in this manner, you can chuckle and strike up a dialogue. You might have mistakenly assumed he was staring at you when, in fact, he might be gazing at the person behind you, the TV, or a wall-mounted poster. If you discover that this is the case, don't feel bad. It doesn't always imply he isn't drawn to you. It's simply an excellent chance to establish a friendship. Number 10. He wants to make you uncomfortable. Guys who intensely stare at women are aware of how unpleasant it is. And yes, that's the awful reality. When a male opts to keep staring at the woman and not look elsewhere, nobody can say what his motives are. This can simply be an attempt to make you uncomfortable. Not all guys are as mature as they seem. Psychological theories might suggest that men need to assert their power in certain circumstances, and they do so by making you feel uneasy. This might be how he has fun if he doesn't have anything to do. However, the best thing is to keep your mind at ease and ignore the person if you ever find yourself in a position where someone is making intense eye contact with you and it's extremely uncomfortable. Thus, it will be more difficult for them to make you uncomfortable. What to do? So, at any time when a guy looks at you, you must understand that you are in charge of the circumstance, regardless of why they may be staring. Being straightforward is always preferable to complicating things more than they need to be. So you have two options. 1. As you don't have to understand what he's thinking, you can always leave a difficult circumstance. You won't experience any issues if you decide that you don't like him in this circumstance. When in doubt, simply trust your instincts and follow them. 2. You can make a move. Being proactive will aid in clearing up any misunderstandings. You can tell this man that you find him equally alluring or fascinating. Don't worry if he isn't interested in you because you lost nothing. You were just trying to know what he wants.